Hi everyone. Just wanted to give you a short video in case you needed some support in working your way through CASA Learning and accessing those score reports from our midterm assessments. So essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to go into our Clever system and you are going to click on CASA Learning to launch that. And once you're into CASA Learning, what you want to do is you want to go down to Teacher Center, just like we did when we were accessing the exams the first time. And then you're going to click on Assignments. Once your assignments have been pulled up, what you want to do is locate the midterm assessment. And I have lots and lots of CASA Learning assignments that I have used in the past. So I'm going to navigate through here. And there is the Regents Global Midterm. And I'll move this up just a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing. And so from the Regents Global Midterm, I'm going to make my way over to the icon that is Assign and Monitor to Students. It's no longer accessible to the students. I have turned it off, so that's why you're seeing it in the red, but I can still access it. And eventually it'll come up. At this point, this is where you're going to make your decision. How is it that you want to see your data? So by selecting up here, I can take a look at the data on this particular assessment for all of my classes, or I can select a specific section to take a look at. I like to break things down by section just because I know kind of what student skill sets are within each section, and it gives me a clearer picture of who's doing what and who is not understanding big concepts. So I'm going to select my 5B section here. And now I have just the specific section done, and so I can get a look at their data, looking at, some of the raw scores, those students that started the assignment but it's incomplete, those students that never started it, along those lines. We want to get a summative report, and so this is when you're going to click all the way, or I'm sorry, scroll all the way to the bottom, and down here is where we have the various reports. By all means, go ahead and take a look at the different things that are available to you for the purpose of completing our data assessment. I'm going to click on the class cumulative report right here. And then what comes up is a whole bunch of information to help you to understand what that exam looked like, what the components of it were. So you can see the assignment title and everything listed here. Nick has set the threshold for this report at 55, and you will see how that kind of plays out in some of the reports as you scroll your way down. I know someone asked me a question about, well, what about students that the assessment was assigned to, but they never took? Are they included in the data? So you can see that I have a series of students. I have a significant number of students with poor attendance. And so they were excluded from this particular assignment because they left a significant number of questions unanswered, or they never even began the assignment. And then what you're going to want to do is work your way through the data. So I can see, again, here's our threshold set at 55. So where students achieved 55 or higher, you're going to find that information in the blue. And then you're going to have students that scored below 55%, or the cohort of, scored below 55 on that particular question will be in red. And so as we kind of go through and take a look at this, I can do a quick analysis. I see that, it appears as though students did quite well for me on, questions 2 and 3. Not too shabby down here on questions 17 and 22, the question that it appears that students struggled the most with. For me, let's see, I can't tell if it's the computer's going really slow. It looks as though question 5 as well as question 24. I had the highest number of students that answered that incorrectly. And so those are questions that I would want to go back and take a look at. Another data report that's contained within this particular report is taking a look at everything by topic. So by topic, I can see that my students are doing well in feudal Western Europe. I'm not quite sure. Shout out to ninth grade teachers. As well as in things like transformations of Western Europe and Russia and absolutism and constitutionalism. And it appears as though they are struggling in, oh, look, imperialism, not good. And so that gives me just another element of insight into how they performed on this particular exam by tags. So again, taking a look, the bigger the blue bar, the higher your students performed, the bigger the red bar, the bigger the area of concern. So government and age of revolution seem to be an area of concern for my section, according to this particular by tags report. By difficulty level, it's difficulty level that's broken down by K and L. I honestly have no idea what that means, so if you can figure it out, let me know. And then by attribute, so level of questioning, where students did. So my students seem to be doing quite well in the area of cartoons. And it looks as though they need some work in analyzing quotes as well as reading sections. And I know for that global exam, there were some very, very long passages contained in there. And then lastly, it does break it down by standard. One of the reports that I find, you know, we can use these upper reports for kind of a holistic look for a particular class, but then I do like to take a look at the reports and it shows me how specific students did. So I can look at students that inherently do well in my class. For example, I've got Gabe here who scored a 92 and he missed 2 questions. So I would want to take a look at what particular questions he missed here. And then I've got, you know, other students that are just missing huge amounts, and for reflection purposes and perhaps some, dare I say, PL for these particular students, to pull them aside and to really give them some intensive support to help them to move forward. I hope that this video makes sense and it helps you a little bit in understanding how to break down the score reports. It is conference day, and I hope everybody has a fantastic Wednesday. Take care.